Good morning, welcome to Headline Focus here, live on Core Politics with me, Rob Double. It is Thursday, the 19th of April 2018. Let's have a look at what's making the political news today. So to start off with, the government suffered two defeats in the Lords yesterday. One of them with particular importance in terms of Brexit, and it was amendment which passed through the Lords and will go back to the Commons now for review, which says that the government must explain what steps it has taken towards staying in a customs union. So effectively a customs union amendment successfully been defeated in the Lords. It's now going to come back to the Commons for further debate, with the possibility that that could be tagged on to the withdrawal bill, and so the government would have to implement that amendment, aka steps towards staying in a customs union. Quite a significant loss as well, 348 to 225, and not in the government's favour, with 24 Tory grandees rebelling and voting for the clause as well. Now, why is that important? Well, Theresa May, the Prime Minister, may face a particularly tough task in the Commons now in order to fight off this amendment and to vote it down rather than it being tagged onto the withdrawal bill. The Labour Party, of course, support a customs union membership, a customs union Brexit. And similarly, there's a number of Tory rebels who've made it clear that they support a customs union membership as well, such as Ken Clarke and Anna Soubry, and other MPs who are more European or at least soft Brexit inclined. So it's going to be another headache for the government and another further bit of uncertainty for the government and the country in terms of the Brexit negotiations. How it will play out in the actual negotiations in terms of Europe's or rather the EU's reaction to this, we'll have to wait and see. But it certainly keeps the idea of a customs union membership very much alive post-Brexit. Next up, what is also leading the agenda today is a ban on plastic straws. Now, this is one from Michael Gove, the Environment Secretary's brief. The Prime Minister's basically nabbed it from him for the sake of her speech today. Not uncommon, but obviously Michael Gove might not be too impressed by that. Nonetheless, it gets on the airways. And so the Prime Minister is planning to propose a ban on plastic straws and cotton buds and will urge the Commonwealth to follow suit, who are, of course, in town today at a meeting and a summit. Now, she's quoted as saying that plastic waste is one of the greatest environmental challenges facing the world, and Britain is a world leader in combating it. Now, remember, we've had quite a large number of environmental policies come through, very progressive and certainly very effective policies which have been come through. A ban on microbeads, last month's launch of a consultation on a deposit return scheme for drinks bottles and other containers. Michael Gove's department being seen as going into overdrive in terms of environmental policies. Environment Secretary, in fact, has got a piece today, an op-ed, where he says, "We will work with industry to develop alternatives and to make sure there is time to adapt." Now, in terms of the Commonwealth, as I mentioned, they're in town. They've got the Heads of State Summit, which is opening today. So a number of members of the Commonwealth have already signed up to the Clean Oceans Alliance. Theresa May is going to be pushing for them to get on board with the plastic straws and cotton buds ban as well, or at least to take action on banning more plastics. The Queen is hosting all 47 Commonwealth leaders at a lunchtime summit as the formal opening of the summit takes place today. Final story then comes from the Lib Dems, if you remember them. They've been quite quiet in the news, not much happening for them. But Vince Cable, their leader, and who is also a former UK business secretary under the coalition, said that market-dominating tech titans such as Amazon, Facebook and Google should be broken up by who? By the European Commission, and which he says actually is the most effective competition authority in the capitalist world, and probably the only body with the clout to take these decisions. So very much a pan-European response and showing off the effectiveness of the European Union and indeed the European Commission in tackling or taking on at least those big giants of the multinational company world. That's one big policy. Not much information come through on that, but a bit of a Lib Dem story when we haven't heard one of those in a while, or at least in the last few months. Anyway, but that's pretty much it. You're up to date today. Don't forget you can find all the latest on what we're doing here on Core Politics on our Facebook page and Twitter right here. But from me and all the team here at Core London, see you tomorrow around about 9 a.m.